Hello, welcome back to, well, this is round 5 of Dented Shield Season 4. This is my Underworld playing Undead. What I don't have is, because I've been back playing in CCL this week, I've got all my cutscenes off, but I like having them on for these videos. Make it a bit more presentable. So this is my Underworld playing Undead this week. We are setting up first because we're defending. So we have a guard troll who's still not gone beyond 6 points all this time in. We have 2 Skaven linemen on the line with wrestle and guard. We've got a thrower missing the game. No, we don't have a thrower missing the game, we have a blitzer missing the game. 2 throwers we've got are a block accurate one with a niggling injury, and a fresh thrower here who replaced a second niggling injury thrower from the last game. Undead have an extra reroll there. It's gone for a touchback, about as bad a kick-off as I could have hoped for. Yeah, and the one blitz we have in this game is Tackle Horns, who's without the other blitzer in, is the most important player on this team as it stands. I have an Agility 4 Goblin here. I have an Agility 4 Goblin also missing the game, who has horns as well. A Big Hand Goblin, a 2 Heads Goblin, and 2 unlevelled ones, and we're just down to 1 unlevelled Goblin on the bench. Scored a full team, but two out missing the game. Means any removals are going to start hurting, and we don't do great for keeping players on the pitch in this game. So Undead have 2 sure hands block ghouls at the back there, 2 mighty below whites, both close to levelling, 13 and 15 points. 2 guard mummies who are a bit further from levelling on 10 and 8, and loads of unlevelled zombies. There's a kick zombie on the bench and a wrestle ghoul as well. And they're attacking for this first drive. And that was, touchback straight to that ghoul. Could maybe have risked it on the 13-point white there, but then he's not in a position to have a nice safe ball earlier on. A couple of successful knockdowns straight away. And now here, so my opponent here knew this, worked this out straight away and knows how to do this in future. But for any other new players watching this, my opponent, the Undead coach here, is trying to get 2 dice on one of these players with this white in a blitz. So one of these zombies, if they're going to go for this thrower, one of these zombies needs to be in this square, because he can assist downside to cutscenes, but the zombie in this square can assist because he's only marking the target of the block and not anyone else, so neither of these zombies can assist because this goblin is marking them as well. So it's just a pushback on that 1 dice. Follows up, which I'm quite pleased to see because that gives me 2 dice on the white. And so I could have gone 2 dice on the white. If that's a knockdown, I've got quite an easy 2 dice on the ball. But this zombie comes in to shut that down, which is exactly what I should be doing. I've gone with the thrower though because I'd like to be able to blitz this horns guy, because it's another 2 dice block I can get, which he can do on his own as long as I blitz. So I can start to chip away at that screen a bit. Then back off. So need to protect this player. It's essential that he's staying around on the pitch. So over here, looking at a 1 dice, just threw it again for a pushback. And Agility 4 Goblin is just going to come over here just to be something for my opponent to think about. Also, if I manage to knock the ball loose, he's a good catching candidate if I can chuck the ball up there. And those 2+ stunty dodges are one of the reasons I love, or one of the upsides to playing Underworld, I've found. Although marking the ball carrier like that does get you hit, and that's a bad one as well. It's a -1 agility, and that is a retired goblin. And a knockout as well, so straight away down to 9 players, only turn 2. the 2 removals in quick successions. Big downside to having a lot of goblins on your team and having to rely on them sticking around. With 4 Mighty Blow players, lots of opportunities for taking my players out. It's my second attempt at recording this video. I gave it a go earlier in the week, but it turned out terribly. So I'm having to sit through it again, which by the end of the game you might understand is not a great experience for me. This one does not go well. For the third time in a row, third game in a row, we end up having a pretty awful game. Now I do have 2 dice on the ball here with 3+ dodge, which is what I take on. It's a tackle player against a ghoul as well, so that is fine. That's a knockdown. Fortunately not an armor break, but it has put the ball on the floor. I have my big hand goblin around for things like this as well, who can stunty dodge in here and then pick up on a 3. But I think I'm looking to get a marker on the ball first. Fail. It's the first of quite a few 1 in 9 dodges that I managed to fail in this game. But I do another removal there as well. And that's the second in 2 turns at that 15 point white has knocked out, so just missing it on the level as it stands. Another white coming in here for another knockdown, and another removal. I think that's 4 now. 4 removals. Yeah, 4. So down to 7 players. And you can kind of understand from here that this drive isn't going to be getting any better. We have, really limited options. Score running forwards, quite close to another level on 26. This one on 24 as well, so both getting up there in terms of star player points. Troll knocked down as well. And another removal. So it's an injury, which is a miss next game, but regens. Nice regen is okay. But it's another player down to 6. And that's going to make it harder for this goblin to get through and do much. Dodging away there. I think I was feeling so limited by my options here that I decided to take on that sack attempt on a 6+ dodge on the off chance it'll come off, but it doesn't. But really, I had very few other options. Could maybe have thought about dodging these players away first, particularly the goblin, because that's a less risky dodge. It would have saved me taking some mighty blow blocks here. This is a knockdown with mighty blow. To an injury, so that's the big hand goblin out of the game. And down to down to 5 players, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And this ghoul can score next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In fact, could have scored that turn. And we were having a little discussion during the game about whether or not to stall here and just hold out to turn 8. But I think quite fairly pointed out I was going to have at best 10 players for the rest of the game. And it could be just 7 players on the pitch going into the next drive, so my opponent here may as well see how many touchdowns they can score, because this game is basically over already. There's kind of no recovering from this sort of level of outnumbering. which might maybe a bit defeatist. So that's an injury to, I think it's a miss next game on that thrower. I was taking the dodge on there, just with the like I should have done last turn, with the kind of feeling that, well, the floor doesn't have mighty blow, so just take the hit if you fail the dodge. But it, yeah, I think my opponent decided after moving those players out to prepare for the stall that he was just going to score. With that other removal as well, that's 6 to 9 players I'm going to have for the rest of the game. Despite how glum I maybe sound watching this, which is the third time I'm watching the game, as I said, I was at the time managing to find it quite funny. I think it's sort of the third game in a row where I've had this happen, and I'd had the approach, which the kind of part of the reason I wanted to play Underworld last season was I thought it would be the kind of team where you kind of laugh off that sort of thing, and I managed to, I think, for the first time the other day when we were playing. So yeah, it's kind of a in some ways quite liberating, because I know basically the game's lost, so I can throw caution to the wind a bit, take some risks, and see what I can get away with. So I think here, so I'm looking at, probably have, oh no, I think I wanted the agility 4-1 on here for the easy dodge away. So I get an extra turn, but I only have 9 players for this attacking drive, and that's as good as it's going to get the rest of the game. I'm looking down here, just a pushback, and then going on. So see if I can put a couple of scoring threats in. And the Undead have enough pace, certainly with these 2 players, to come shut this off. But being outnumbered like I am, and I think with the way I was feeling about the game as well, I didn't really play this right. And I think if I had maybe been a bit more cautious, kept a bit more width, kept my opponents having to defend the whole width of the pitch, I could maybe have done better here. But instead, I've put so many players up here, over here, trying to claim this space. The Undead just have to come here and shut it off, and then it's just a matter of them waiting out the next 4 turns, and I'm not going to score. Because that was easy enough to come get the knockdown. There's 2 ghouls over here who can come up over this white as well. Although I'd maybe send probably this white, maybe one of the ghouls over this way to go pressure the ball to force me to move it quicker. I think might be the only thing I did differently here from what the Undead coach did. And my thrower doesn't have blocks, so the block ghoul would have been fine. Block ghoul on the white over here in this area means I've got to either really back off, or I've got to make a throw next turn. Marking up with trolls, so I can't go. I don't think I can reach this goblin for a handoff anyway. But certainly this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go for it. Yeah, so he's go for it away from handing off to this goblin, and then troll throw for the score. It's something I had on if the troll wasn't marked. Blitz up there into that white to try and create a bit of space and grab an injury. So first star player points I've got in the game for a broken white with -1 armor, but he regens. So he'll be back later, but it does give me a player back. Oh, in terms of the number balance. Rerolling that. I think this also is is a knockout. So all of a sudden it's 9 plays 9. So if I had held back a bit, held a wider line, and not let my opponent just shut off my obvious and only route of attack, yeah, this could still be a game. But I think I messed that up. I think I was 2 defeats too early at the time of playing it, and yeah, too willing to be feeling bad about how it was going. That's back to 9 plays 8. So that opportunity at this point is lost, and I've got no way back around these mummies. I don't have the pace. I have the pace to outrun the mummies, but not the 2 ghouls who are back here as sweepers, who are going to react to any changes I make. So in some ways I've got to lean into pressing down this wing. Or my only other hope is troll throw, and the agility 4 goblin will be the best one to do that with, because he'll catch the hand off on a 2 and then will land on a 3. But here I'm being forced into make dodges that I don't want to make in order to try and make space, because this blitzer is trapped in here and he's going to take another mighty blow hit next turn. Getting a ghoul forward now to pressure the ball. This one's on 29 points, so it's a good candidate for scoring. Felt really stupid. First one we've had in turn 6. It's the 7th turn we've had as well, because we had a riot. So we've got a knockdown there. I think I'll go blitzer dodge into hit on the white with horns, and reroll that just for a pushback, so he's not trapped against the sideline and an easy surf. And also he makes space to get through, so someone who could potentially score. And because this white has gone forwards, chucking the 2+ dodging goblin over there. Yeah, because this ghoul has gone forwards, I think I might have said white before, it means I have to retreat my thrower, which makes my pass harder next turn if I'm going to make it. And I've got 2 players I could chuck the ball to. So that in there pins my blitzer against the touchline, so it's a surf risk next turn if I stand him up. I have 2 more turns. Inducements wise as well, I had a wizard. There was other consideration I had was Nobbler Blackwall to replace the Claw Mighty Blow Blitz that I have for some potential damage output. So Chainsaw against some Armor 7 ghouls might have been quite fun, and might have had some significant effect on the game maybe. But I went with the wizard in the end. And yeah, we now have that goblin marked by 3 players. I think I might have chanced the throw to him for the 4+ catch, but 5+ catch just feels a bit too much. See someone down here to take that assist out, and I can get 2 dice on the white, which is a pushback. But then it's a dodge away to try and get in the end zone. And I'm out of rerolls. So Undead turn 8, they would struggle to score here if they were going to. But they do need to make sure I can't, so that means hitting that goblin. So 3 dice from the mummy. If they move that kick zombie round, they'll have 3 dice from the ghoul as well. Two dice on the goblin first. That's another injury, and I think that finally levels that 15-point white who'd had a few knockouts already in this game. Finally grabs a casualty. That was just a badly hurt. So a bit of moving there to try and limit things. This ghoul already had 3 dice, so the zombie didn't add anything. Could maybe have come down to this blitzer instead to make his life harder. That is a knockdown, but not an armor break, so this goblin can still get in the end zone. So the players have got, so blitz up there on that zombie, can follow up and go into the end zone. And I'd like 2 players together, because if the pass scatters, which the sort of range it's at is likely, I want more chance of catching it. So both those players in next to each other, and then must throw these 2 go for it's to get in range to throw, and somewhere I messed up here is I should be throwing from this square and not that one, because I'm marked by a mummy there. I was so fixated on getting into position to be able to attempt the throw at the most extreme of ranges, that I just ran up to next to a mummy, which put another -1 on the ball, and it meant that 4 was a fumble instead of an inaccurate throw, which is my own stupid fault, because I should have been there. It was just a -2 throw otherwise, which would have modified down to a 2, which is an inaccurate throw. So yeah, standing next to the mummy to throw, stupid, and cost me the chance of launching the ball up the pitch. So my knockout doesn't come back, with 4 injuries as well. That means I'm on 7 players for another attempt at an attacking drive. So I'll switch ends for what it's worth, but I am attempting to attack a full undead team with just these 7 players, and missing my good thrower, a 2-heads goblin, a big hand goblin, unleveled one who's less important, but I've got an unleveled one knocked out too. And yeah, this is where we are. So kick off again. My opponent remembered to put the kick zombie not in the wide zone this time. I think the last kickoff he was swapped positions with these white. Right. So what I'm trying to do here, I know what's coming, so I'm getting this in quickly. Is going for a 1-turn with the troll. So I need to move that zombie so it gives the troll an easier time throwing. So a pushback would do, but I'm also trying to hit from there into the box to move the mummy off the line of scrimmage. Because why would you want to stand next to a mummy if it all goes wrong? So I'm trying to do that because the thrower can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hand off to this goblin, who's the agility 4-1, who the troll can then throw. Nice easy landing on 3, run it in, and gets me back in the game. Maybe a glimmer with the wizard in my pocket as well. Maybe we can get something out of this. Maybe we can get a knockout back again. So I go for that. Get a pushback, which is all I really wanted. Should have taken that. Pushed it, pushed the mummy away. Wash my hands of it. But I do a nice little greed reroll into double skulls. Turn over. First action. And the ball's not safe. My best player's laying down over there. And I'm not scoring. So should have taken the pushback. Greedy rerolls will cost you at least as often as they benefit you. And I should know that by now. And that gives up a hit on this lineman who was exposed, and he's knocked out, and I'm down to 6 players. Double skulls there, so cut off the other team as well, but they still had a reroll available. So yeah, my prone blitzer is completely surrounded by opposing players. There's a base down on that. Barry wins that little both down war for a stunned goblin. But yeah, this player, who's my most essential one, is surrounded. I really can't do really much of anything. Barry does stand up, which takes these assists out, and I think gives me 1 dice on one of these. And I've got a goblin over there. And I think I decided the only option I really had here, because I couldn't keep this ball safe, is I just throw it up here. And why put it on the floor when I could give it to someone who can catch it on a 2? Generally it's been a star player point as well, which is alright. But yeah, here I get a bit greedy again, because I wanted the knockdown there, which is 1 in 3, just so I could, come away and protect this guy. I get a bit fixated on protecting this guy, when really the situation as it is, I'm forcing at least one of these ghouls into a dodge, and I've got a tackle player marking one of them. I should be happy with that, but I decide I need to dodge through here. Oh, I don't. I must do that another turn when it gets even more desperate. I actually made a sensible idea, but the idea here was I've got a dodge player. Maybe he can survive a hit and then run away and score, because it's all I've got going for me. But we've got the ghoul coming around to blitz from exactly the right way, because if he's stuck with a pushback, that's over here, but he injures him when they're both down. I may have dodge, but I don't have block. It's just a badly hurt, fortunately, on the agility 4. And I've got this white, I think, going to try collect the ball. Maybe next turn. He's on 13 points, so he's a good scoring candidate. That's who you want scoring. This white has levelled. He's a bit stranded over here. Probably wants to get back in the action. And another knockout. So we're, I think, fast approaching the point in the game where I leave my players laying down and hit next turn, or end turn. But maybe a little way off that yet. So both down on the troll from the mummy. And that time Barry is stunned from the both down, and the mummy is fine, apart from being knocked over. So, my turn. Foul. I think that's another 1 in 9 dodge foul. It's been 2 or 3 now. Yeah, we're just going to come. I think just try and be difficult with the ball. Just try and be a pain. Because 1-0 will be a great result from this position. So if I can stop them scoring again, that's great. But yeah, throw up pretty effectively tied up. I think that was an accidental zombie dodge. A zombie in there would have made that 3 dice as well. That's yeah, 1 in 9 for the Undead 2 with that foul pickup. 1 in 36 even with the double 1. I think this might be where I go for 4+, 3+. It'd be 4+, 4+, 3+, won't it? 2 4+s. Yeah, he does go for that. I think looking for the blitz on the white, but can't get all the way through. So yeah, made the 4+ and then failed. Another 1 in 9 with 2 3+ dodges failed, and he's knocked out as well. So yeah, very little going for me. And that's that throw knocked down with Mighty Blow again. But I think survives, even though it doesn't have an armour break. Just to push back on the troll. Other mummy can have a go now though, so I did those in the right order. Gives them 4 dice on the troll instead of 3, instead of just the 2. Watching this goblin. Still want the white to pick up the ball. So you've got the sure hands ghoul here who could do it with a reroll, but at some point, if you want this white to score, he's got to roll 3+ to either pick the ball up or catch a handoff. Might as well just get him to pick the ball up, so you're rolling fewer dice. And he has got that. Spending a reroll, they're down to 1 reroll each, with 4 turns to go after this one. Wrestle ghoul forwards. Block ghoul forwards as well, because this is where my whole team in here somewhere. These just 3 players left. And I think with the floor doesn't have Mighty Blow approach again. Just go for a blitz on that ghoul. If I happen to roll a 6 on the dodge, I get 2 dice on him. Why not? Yeah, but that's what I'm reduced to. 3 players laying down. And they can just surround and stop me doing anything. Yep, so there we go, straight onto the Undead turn. White can score next turn, except he doesn't. He gets struck by lightning. Because a 1-0 defeat is better, so let's go for that. But it does drop that, and if the ball scatters off the pitch here, it's probably going to be 1-0, but it doesn't. And I did quite enjoy that that little failed go for it there. But the ball's still in a good position where they can score. Not this white though. We are on to turn 16 already. So if I could have got my throw on there with a ridiculous set of dodges, could maybe have chucked the ball up to the pitch to make it harder, but couldn't do that. So the Undead just have 3+ pick up and a go for it, I think, from this goal. Could maybe have had got the white up to hand off to, but it's another roll of the dice, which may have gone wrong. And that is our game, I think. Yeah, the Undead went second, so yeah, that's full time. So quite a quick one, because so many of my turns were quite quick. Both got quite good MVPs, relatively good if you get, it's a levelling zombie. Zombie did actually pick up straight 4, so that's something. My thrower took safe throw, but he's missing the next game anyway. He's been intercepted on a couple of times. In fact, the only 2 interceptions we've had in the last 2 seasons were both on this thrower. So I thought safe throw would be a worthwhile investment for him. Yeah, so that's 2 MVPs levels. That's the only level I had. The Undead did have some others as well. But yeah, hugely out blocking, massively out removing, and that's where the game was won, which is in no way a criticism of what my opponent did. He did exactly what he needed to, and capitalised on the situation and got a good win. But I was in the position where I had very limited options, or no options in most cases, and those are the less fun games of Blood Bowl when you're in that situation. And we've had quite a few of those this season, not just for me. I mean, my last 3 games have been like that, but a couple of other coaches this season have had that sort of situation as well. The North coach particularly, who's having a really rough time of it this season. Not much in the way of star player points for me. That's just a pass and a casualty and the MVP. But loads for the Undead. I think this is a touchdown and 2 casualties for a goal. I don't remember them throwing any passes, so I think that must be that. A couple of mummy casualties. Touchdowns there, and yeah, casualty there. That was a 15-point white. I don't think there's a lot to see here apart from I'm rolling too many dice. I'm rolling much more dice than I'm happy doing it. If you contrast this to our season 2 videos and see how many dice I was rolling with a chaos team, that's where I'm comfortable playing Blood Bowl. I don't think this team suits me. I'm trying to dodge too much. I mean, that's how goblins work, so that's where all these dice are going. But a lot of them are in armor and injury rolls as well, because I'm losing players all the time. Yeah, so too many dice, things go wrong, things fail, you get turnovers, you get players injured, you lose games. That's how it works. My opponent, on the other hand, like this is much more the level of D6 numbers I'm happy with rolling, and he's doing it right. Yeah, there we go. 2-0 win for the Undead. Well done to them. And that's the 3rd game we've had for this round. We've still got Lizardmen against Bretonnians to go, but we've had Necromantic beat Bretonnians 2-0, which was it was quite a big game. This was 3rd place second. They've now switched places, I believe. If we have a quick look at the leaderboard, they have. We've also had Khemri against Norse. So this was one of those games I was just talking about, where the Norse had hardly any players on the pitch, but still managed to defend very tenaciously and forced this winner to come from, I think it was a blitzer long bombing the ball to another blitzer, who dropped it but then picked it up next turn to score in turn 16. So they were forcing the Khemri to just roll loads of 6s to get the winning touchdown, and that's how that went. So I think the Norse coach, when I watched this back, played really well and did a lot with very little. Yeah, that's where we are. Bad news for me, well, let's start with the good news for me. I have a lot of inducements next week. like over 400,000, so that could be quite fun. I can maybe enjoy the game from that point of view. Bad news is I have that Khemri team who have won 5 from 5 so far this season, won season 3, and are terrifying to face. So let's have a quick look at the teams who've played so far this week. They do have a leveled stake still, which is a double on a skeleton, I think. But yeah, 4 Mighty Blow players, and we just saw how badly that went for me. They've got just 1 tackle player, which makes this skeleton a target. 1 bit of frenzy, so I have to watch out for that. They have more guard than me, definitely more strength than me with all these. So this is going to be tough. This is almost lost before it's begun. But I do have a couple of important players back next week. Let's just look at my team. So that block accurate safe throw thrower is out, but I do get back the agility 4 Horns Goblin, and importantly the Mighty Blow Claw Blitzer, who could be quite essential against Khemri if he can manage to hit a Tomb Guardian. And he has, I think he's killed a Yeti this season. No, it was an agility strength 5 Ulf Werner he's killed this season, which then got apothecaried. So he can kill strength 5 players. He's very capable. I just need him to turn up and perform. But him, and I'm also considering Glart Smashrip Jr., who is also a strength 4 claw player. So hopefully have a bit of damage output, and I might need it to try and keep me in the game next week. That's how my team looks at the moment. I fired the minus agility 2 heads goblin, and I'm not sure if I'm going to replace him yet, because I want to look at the team value difference and what I need to afford what I want. Just very quickly, the other things, I have to go back to work. I'm at work in a lunch break, and I'll have to go very shortly. But the North team here, I don't think have very changed significantly. They lost their thrower. Their thrower died, I think, to a turn 16 blitz. Replaced him with a new one to a 2 or the second. I think they had a lineman die as well. And there was one other death that I think was apothecaried, but they have players missing the next game. 3 players missing the next game, so not in ideal shape. I think they even have to go journeyman next time. Yeah, they're on 10 players. Necromantic, who have in great form the last few matches. I don't think they've picked up anything new. I do have a block. This second Flesh Golem has block. I think that might have happened last week. I don't think there's anything new out of this week's game. But I could be missing that. Lizardmen yet to play this week, so to see them. And this Bretonnian team, who had another one of those games where they had no players to work with, or very few of them. Missing their strip ball wrestle blocker, or strip ball blocker next week. Taking sure feet on their fast blitzer. And that's a guard lineman I think is new as well, so they're coming together all right. We have next week these matches: Bretonnians Undead, Bretonnians Norse, Lizardmen Necromantic, my Underworld against Khemri, as we said. We'll be back at some point then. Look at one or more of these matches. Definitely this one. We'll see what else we can get in as well. And see you next week.